It's a tough job out here in these streets trying to work two things, especially on my laptop. Hey, Erica, can you hear me, honey?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Can you hear me on
Oh, wait.
TikTok?
I can't hear you on TikTok. Let me work my camera here.
I'm gonna turn you down over here on TikTok. There you
It's
go.
me.
Okay, we in the building. Hey, audience, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Home Buyers Clubhouse, where we go live every Wednesday and every Friday. Every Wednesdays we drop something inspirational and motivational. On Fridays we drop something educational. Today we are talking about credit. No matter how much we talk about credit, we get the calls and the text messages and the inboxes and say, Jesse, can you tell me how can I pull my credit? So today we're going to talk about credit. We're going to talk about what makes your credit, what kind of credit score you need in order to get a house, and all of that fun stuff. So welcome. Hit the like button, hit the share button. And again, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jessie Lynn. I'm a triangle realtor with A to Z Realty. Miss Erica Batts, honey, introduce yourself.
Hey, I am Erica Batts. I am your home loan chick. I'm a mortgage lender in the Carolinas, so North Carolina and South Carolina. So, yeah, I am here. I'm happy it's Friday.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So let's talk about credit. What do you guys know about credit? Tell us what y'all know in the bottom. But Erica, we talk about this all the time. We just gonna get it out of the way because we know the questions they're gonna come. The number one question is, what is the minimum credit score to get a house, honey?
It is going to be 580 is normally what we're looking for. Now, you can get a house at 500 as your middle credit score.
Mm-hmm.
However, with 500, then you do have to put down at least 10%.
All right. So that is your answer, you guys. You got to at least put down 10% if your credit score is around a 500, which is kind of awesome in a way, because I did have someone yesterday. They were out and about and just asking me about, does credit matter and all this other stuff. If they have a large down payment, it does matter, but you got to put down at least 10%. So y'all got that. So if you get $100,000 house, that'll be $10,000. If you get a $200,000 house, that'll be $20,000. So that'll kind of help you guys along the way. All right. For starters, your credit score. Your credit score is around between 300 to 850. 300 to 850. What is the magic number?
The magic number for what?
Anything, just to say you got good credit. We'll say about 720-ish.
Good credit, yeah, you're normally looking about 720.
About 720, that's considered good credit, right?
Now, if you're looking for excellent credit, now that's when you're going to be in the 800 range for the excellent credit. Now, a lot of times you get better interest rates, the better your credit score is.
Absolutely. And right now, we all know that interest rates are very important because they are still going up. Where are we right now on interest rates?
Right now, we crossed over into the 8s last week. So right now, we're still, right now we're still hovering around that, 7.875, depending on, what you're looking at. So still high 7s, low 8s is where we are right now. And so a lot of people are like, oh my God, the interest rates are so high. They're high compared to where we were a year or 2 years ago, within the past 2 years. So they are higher, which means that is less house that you can afford, but there are still some good deals out there. It's still a great time to buy if you can afford to buy.
Yes, y'all. And one thing you guys need to know, especially if you're thinking about working on your credit or building your credit or repairing or disputing your credit, you need to understand credit. You need to understand what makes up your credit score. And what a lot of people don't understand is, number one is your payment history. Your payment history is about 35% of your credit score. So you need to make sure you are paying your bills on time. Erica, when buying a house as a lender, what could a late payment do to your application or being approved?
Now, I've seen a late payment drop a score by 100 points. So then, there are sometimes that is the difference between getting approved and not being able to be approved.
Wow. 100 points, y'all. 100. Imagine that. Okay. Number 2 is your credit usage. This one right here is what kills my score, you guys. Your credit usage is very important because that makes up about 30%. So you may say, Jesse, I don't have any late payments, but my credit score is still low. It's probably your utilization rate. And when you're buying a house, we recommend a utilization rate around 10%. Now, Erica, explain to the audience what a utilization rate is.
That means how much of your credit are you using? So if your limit on your card is $3,000, then when you get your bill at the end of the month, it shouldn't be more than $300. Now, there are some people who say, well, I pay off my bill every month, even though I charge it up. For those people, a lot of times you need to make 2 payments to your card. So, or you need to make it before your due date so that you're able to then get that utilization where you need it to be.
There you go. There you have it, you guys. So number 1 is your payment history. That makes up 35% of your credit score. So make sure you're paying your bills on time. Number 2 is your utilization rate. If you have a 300 credit score, if you have a 300 credit limit, you want to keep that around like $30. Do not run that card up because it's going to make your credit score drop. Number 2 is your credit.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me say, when you say don't, no, I'm just saying when you say don't run your credit up, what I'm saying is when you get your bill each month, you should not be being billed for more than that 10%. So if you run up, if I spent $2,500 out of that $3,000 over the course of the month, then I want to pay off $2,200 before my bill cuts.
Y'all got that? Keep it low. Keep your eye on it. All right. Number 3 is your credit. Well, actually, number 3 is the age. I have your credit mix, and then you have the age of your credit. So we're going to talk about your credit mix. Your credit mix makes up about 10% of your credit score. And Erica, when I say credit mix, what does that mean? What's a credit mix?
So usually there are going to be 3 categories for your credit mix: your installment debt, your revolving debt, and mortgage debt.
Yes.
So your installment debt is going to be something that has a fixed amount of payments. Like when you went to buy a car, they say, we're going to finance this car for 60 months or 72 months or whatever that was for you. And then your revolving debt is one where as soon as you pay it back, now you have that money available to use again.
Okay. And we're going to go into that also because, we got the revolving credit. We have your charge credits, your service credit, and your installment credits. And we're going to talk about that in a second. All right. So the age of your accounts, that matters. The age of your accounts counts as 15%. So we always talk about piggybacking and all of that stuff. What is piggybacking also, Erica? And explain why the age of the accounts matter as well.
Because they want to know how long you've had credit. How long you have, and credit is basically just saying, did you do what you said you were going to do? Someone loaned you money. Did you pay it back in a timely manner? Is it something? So before you can do, a lot of people say, well, I don't use credit. Before I can give you $300,000, I want to know, can you manage $1,000?
Right.
So that's part of what that is. And as far as piggybacking, what that is that when you are able to get on somebody else's account, and then you're able to then benefit from their payment history. And so just like I did that for my niece, where she's 21, but she has a credit history of 18 years because she has a card on my account. So because I have that particular card for 18 years, now she has had, now when you look at her credit history, saying, oh, well, she's had credit for 18 years, but she's only 21.
But look, and we always talk about that also, y'all, because take notice, a lot of people, when they're trying to build their credit and they're taking a look at their credit score, they are trying to close accounts. Do not close your accounts, you guys. Stop closing these accounts because that could hurt your score, especially if you've had that account for a while. Stop closing these accounts. Yes, pay them down, pay them off. It depends on the kind it is. But yes, that would help your score. But closing your accounts, they're not going to help your score because the age matters. And when you are piggybacking off of another account, you also want to make sure that their accounts or their utilization rate is low. You don't want to piggyback off of nobody that has late payments and it has a high utilization rate, which means their cards are already maxed out. So if you have kids going to college, put them on your account. Make them an authorized user or whatever you need to do to help them build their credit as well. I done that with my husband and my son, and I watched their scores shoot all the way up because my son, he went to college. He didn't really have any credit, and he needed to build his credit along the way for student loans or whatever. That's what he done. He just piggybacked off my accounts. Your credit applications count as 10% as well. So if you are out doing what, applying and applying and applying, what's one place that's going to pull your credit like 10 times without you knowing?
Usually car loans is what's going to pull your credit. So when you're shopping for a car, try to get pre-approved before you go. With your local bank or your credit union, so that you already know that you have financing in place, because they're pulling your credit, trying to, let me see if I can get you a lower score. And now they're sending your credit application to 15 different banks. So you just got 15 different hits on your credit.
Absolutely. Pull it before you go, you guys. That's what I done. I know when I bought my car from like this rental car place. They were selling cars or whatever. But before I went there, I already had my pre-approval. I done my shopping around. I done my comparison shopping. I done whatever I needed to do. And I was already ready to walk up in there and get my car and walk out. So you're not in there for an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours waiting for you to get pre-approved, because they are checking all these other places. All right. So earlier we mentioned the types of credit that you have. So there are 4 types of credit. Number 1, you have your revolving credit. Number 2, you have your charge cards. Number 3, you have your service credits. And number 4 are your installment credits. Erica, what are the difference?
Your installment, like I said, that's going to be a set number of payments. So you're paying installments. So that's going to be the 72 months that you financed your car for, whatever that means. Whereas and what was the other ones that you said?
So revolving credit.
Revolving credit, that is going to be one, as soon as you make a payment, then you're back to having that amount available again.
It's your credit cards, you guys. You're making a payment. Right. Yeah, you pay a certain amount every month. All right. The next one are your charge cards. What's the difference between a charge card and a credit card?
A credit card is usually where it's a set amount, but you're able to, like I said, as soon as I paid that payment of $300, now that $300 is now available again for me to use. So that's the revolving. But a charge card is one where they expect you to pay that amount in full each month. So most common one is an American Express green card. There's several different American Expresses, but American Express had it was called a green card, gold card, all of those type of cards. Where those are charge cards, where when they send you their bill each month, that balance is due in full each month.
Absolutely. And what's a service credit? That's what, like a light bill? What is that?
A lot of times services are for certain types of services that you may have. Now it could be, I bought a pool. I had a pool put in. So, I got something for that. I get a monthly bill for that.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah. You got your cell phone bills, your utilities,
right.
All of those are considered service credit. And you already mentioned what an installment credit is, correct?
Yes.
All right. So you guys, now that you understand what goes into your credit report, let's talk about the steps that you need to take in order to raise your credit score. That's why a lot of us, we need to understand credit. And this is why we broke it down, because a lot of people, they want to fix their credit. They want to repair their credit. They want to build their credit, but they don't understand what goes into play whenever it comes to doing those things. So the first thing you want to do is you want to examine your credit report. Erica, where should they get their credit report if they are thinking about buying a house? Well, just give me 2 places. One for free and one you gotta pay.
They should go to annualcreditreport.com.
Yeah.
That is going to give you your actual credit report. The other one that I recommend is myfico.com, because that allows you not only to get your credit report, but you can also get your credit score.
Absolutely.
A lot of times the score that they give out for free in most places are going to be things like your Vantage score, which is not the model that we use when we're lending you money. We are looking for a FICO score. And that's Fair Isaacs Corporation.
And let's talk about that. So you just said the free ones. I shouldn't go to Credit Karma to get my free credit score.
So Credit Karma is great for monitoring your credit. So that's great. So it'll let you know as soon as something hits your credit or when a payment has changed, any of those things. Credit Karma is great for that. Credit Karma is not so good for giving you a score that lenders are going to use. And that's whether it's a car loan, whether it's a mortgage loan, whatever. So I don't know any lender that uses a Vantage score.
Absolutely. And you guys, when you pull your credit report, you're going to see certain things on there, right? You're going to have your personal information, like your social security number, where you work, your credit information, the history of it, the closed accounts, different things like that. Do you have any public records on there? And every time you've requested to have your credit pulled, you're going to see that on there as well, right? So you want to go through your report and you want to look at your report and you want to check for a few things. You want to check for errors. You want to check for past due accounts. You want to check for your current credit accounts. And you also want to check to see if there is any room for identity theft. Like, let's say if you look at your report and you saw an address on there, you're like, hold on, I didn't live there. So you want to dig a little bit deeper, okay? But that's the very first thing that you want to check is your personal information on your report. So when we talk about errors, Erica, what are we talking about? What kind of errors should they look for on their credit report?
It could be things like a wrong name. It could be, like you said, a wrong address. It could be things like, well, somebody reported a late payment and I didn't have a late payment. It could be accounts that have been opened in your name that maybe you did not open. So it could be, especially a lot of times I find with juniors, seniors, like, those type of things, a lot of times those accounts get mixed up. So you may have a person that's a junior that when you pull their credit report, it's other stuff associated with their address. And it's saying, oh, well, you also own this house over here, or you also own this. And that's not something that you own. That's something your dad owns.
Oh, that's crazy. How does that happen? I wonder.
Especially because a lot of times they're just looking at the name piece of it. So if your name is John Smith, then they are just looking at, okay, well, John Smith owns this. They're not looking to see whether it's John Smith Jr. or John Smith Sr. or John Smith the Fifth or whatever.
So you guys, also when you're looking at your report, you need to make notes of any issues that you find. And one thing that we always tell them is to get like a highlighter, like different color highlighters, different color pens or whatever. As you go through and you notice these things, just highlight them, okay? This is how you're starting. You're just going to start off highlighting the errors on your report, right? Then the next thing you want to do is you want to check for past due items. And this may include payments that are late and accounts that have been charged off or handed over to collection agencies. And we're going to talk about why you need to look at those accounts later, right? And then also you need to check your current credit accounts. Like you're looking for any credit accounts that are either over the limit or maxed out. And we're going to talk about that later as well. Okay, Erica. So we've already talked about like some common errors that they want to do. But what a lot of people don't understand is there are 3 different types of credit reports. What 3 credit reports should they be pulling? Not just one, because you ask people their credit score and they only give you like one. What 3 bureaus should they be pulling their credit reports from?
It's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
Okay.
So most of the time when we are looking as a lender, we are looking for the middle credit score. So, and that's going to be, that bureau may be different for everybody. So it could be the TransUnion is your middle score, or it could be the Equifax is my middle score. So whichever score is going to be in the middle.
What's a middle score? Like, I mean, I don't know what that means. I mean, if it's in order,
3 scores, and
what that mean?
We're 3 scores. So we're looking for whichever one is in the middle. So if your score is 600, 610, and 607, well then 607 would be your middle score.
There you go, you guys. They're not choosing your highest. They're not choosing your lowest credit score. They are choosing your middle score. Okay, get it? Because a lot of people they like to choose the highest score and think they're going to stick with that one. Yeah. Okay. So all right. So as you go through your report again, you want to go through. You want to highlight some common things that we see a lot is the wrong amount. They're reporting the wrong credit limit. That's important. Why is that important, Erica?
Because if we're looking to see what your score is, like how much credit utilization that you're using, if they've reported that your credit limit is $500 and it's really $5,000, well, that definitely makes a difference.
Absolutely. And some other things that we may find on there that you may find on there also is a collection agency. They may incorrectly report your collecting on a debt that doesn't belong to you. Your identity was stolen. A new credit account was opened with your information, right? And then one of your existing accounts, like a credit card, it was compromised by someone who's not authorized. So this is why it's important to consistently pull your credit report. How often should they pull their credit report?
Well, as of the pandemic, they actually allowed you to be able to pull your credit report every month.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that as of right now, I believe that is still in place where you can get a free score, a free credit report every month.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that is where, like I said, some of the credit reporting agencies like your Credit Karma, that's when it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have because it does allow you to know whether any changes have happened. Another thing I feel like is really common is like medical bills where you paid your, deductible when you went to the office, but there were some left over. They didn't even send you a bill for that. They just, next thing you know, it's on your credit.
I've had that happen. Believe it
Mm-hmm.
or not, it's crazy. Like, hold on, or they calling you and say they didn't respond. So yeah.
Well, and then for me, I'm like, wait a minute. If I've lived at the address the whole time, you just ain't send the bill. There's like, oh no, we just reported it to your credit. Like, who does that? But
Right.
it happens.
Absolutely. So now you guys are probably wondering, how do I dispute any errors on my credit report? What do I do? How do I do it? And where do I start? Well, the first thing you want to do is, again, we already said it, find the errors on your report, highlight them, go through it or whatever. But if you find some errors that is not fraud, if it's not fraud, if it is fraud, what do you need to do if you find fraud on your report? Let's talk about that before we go into disputes.
Each credit bureau also has they have information which will allow you to dispute or contact them and let them know that it's fraud. And then they will investigate that for you and remove that from your credit report.
You can freeze your report, and you can also make sure you file a police report as well. Should they file a police
That's correct. They should file a police report. And a lot of times the company will do it for you. They'll say, okay, well, blah, 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 whatever. But there's a whole cyber crimes unit that is dedicated to things like this, like identity theft or, all of those type of things.
Absolutely. So look, y'all, another way, the quickest way to dispute your credit is online, but we do not recommend that you do that. I would say write them a letter. Write them a letter. Write them a letter. And then that way you can keep a paper trail of your disputes. And when you send it in, you want to send in proof with your dispute, like your credit card statement showing that you made your payments on time. You also want to keep a paper record of your dispute. Whenever you send it in, you want to highlight items. You need to highlight it, whatever item you are disputing, and wait about 30 to 45 days for them to respond. If they don't respond, you need to be writing them again and telling them, look, what's going on? So you need to follow up, okay? And you don't have to do it certified. You don't have to type it up. You can write it on a sheet of paper. Just make sure you make a copy and make sure you have the data on there as well. If you need to attach a copy of your credit report with those items on there, as I mentioned earlier, again, make sure you highlight it and you show it to them just in case they are confused about what you're talking about. Erica, do you got anything you want to add to that?
No, that's really great advice on, how to repair that credit.
Absolutely. So then once you dispute that, also you guys, you're going to get a successful or unsuccessful dispute. Again, if you just continue fighting it, just continue to fight it, send them another letter, show them the proof and follow up. And you have your rights. So again, if you have fraud or identity theft on your account, you definitely want to make sure that you're taking the proper steps to do that. And if you have some items that's currently past due on your account, you definitely want to go ahead and set up a plan on what you're going to do to catch those up as well. All right, Erica. So you got anything you want to add before we go, girl?
No, that's it. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a good
Friday.
weekend.
Audience. Oh, look, another trick that I do is I keep track of my disputes on a spreadsheet. Keep track of it on a spreadsheet. We got this book right here. It's called the Home and Credit Journal Recipe. You can keep track of it in here as well. You can keep track with your habit tracker. You have a score tracker. It's messing up my green screen because it's green. But yeah, it's a tracker in there. So if you just keep track on a sheet of paper, your spreadsheet, whatever works for you guys, do that. Another thing is we're going to talk about budgeting, because you're definitely going to make sure you need to save some money whenever you're buying a home. And we're going to talk about that as well, which is in our book, The Home and Credit Recipe Journal. But again, always just follow up, because they're going to send you some stall letters and anything to try to hold up the process. But make sure that you keep track some way, somehow. Put it in your phone, put it on your calendar, whatever you need to do. But make sure you follow up. All right. So, Erica, before we go, I do want to give them the order of the importance. So number 1 is your payment history. Number 2 is your credit usage, your credit mix, your age of your accounts, and your credit applications. Okay. So start with that. Make sure you pay your bills on time. Make sure you're not maxing out your credit cards, and make sure you have different accounts on there. Okay. All right, let's go. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jessie Lynn. I'm a triangle realtor with A to Z Realty. You can reach me at 919-818-9854. Erica Batts.
Hey, and I'm Erica Batts. I am your home loan chick. You can reach me at 919-608-7916, or you can reach me at ericabats.com. For those on TikTok, you can hit the link in my bio.
Absolutely. Same here. You can find all of us in the clubhouse at www.thehomebuyersclubhouse.com. You can find us on Facebook, on our page, or in our private group at Home Buyers Clubhouse. And you can find us on YouTube at The Home Buyers Clubhouse. We hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.